I mean, some people don't want to work with secular artists, and some people just want to stick to the Christian realm, and other people, wouldn't mind doing it. What's kind of your position on it?
I mean, if it happens, man, I'm not opposed to it, but I mean, it ain't nothing that I really look forward to, like.
Screw that, they know, let them have it, do it. Okay, I'm erratic, prove it. Never mind, got a mind that'll wind up with me in a lineup behind bars with these bars. Okay, my time's up.
Team Freedom.
Yeah.
We not through yet.
All right.
Trackstarz Music.
Alrighty, welcome back to another Independent Artist Spotlight. Here on behalf of Ryan Righteous, Sean Tan, and DJ Jeremiah from the Trackstarz Radio Show and Podcast, this is your host, Jason Bordeaux. And I have with me on this episode of the Spotlight, kind of a fresh brother to the scene. He just did his thing on the last Line for Line showdown that we did. Having with me Mr. Calvin Hill. How you doing, sir?
What's good, y'all, man? What's good, man?
Awesome, man. Awesome, man. It's good to be able to get you on this so people can get to know you. And it's great that it's coming out not that far behind your win. Sometimes I've had people that do it, months later, even a year later. But it's good to be kind of fresh off of that. And so the actual song that we did was called Never Never on that show. So if anybody wanted to check it out and get the name of it. But yeah, man, so I just want people to get to know Calvin Hill a little bit more, kind of give your background, maybe a testimony, and how you got started doing music, kind of to begin with.
I started making music in 2010 because I got saved in 2009. Well, I got officially saved on my own in 2009.
What does that mean?
That means, I've always been in the Christian around,
Okay.
I've been growing up in church, so, but my own experience with God, man, I chose to accept Him in my life at 2010.
Gotcha.
So I started making, 2009. I started making music in 2010. So about a year later, I started off, it was just me and some homeboys, man. We was just making music, man. We decided to form a rap group. We called ourselves Decree of Christ. We were bad, man.
And this isn't is this the bad that's good or just bad?
No. We were Christian artists, but we were bad as far as talent wise. Me and another artist, like, we really stood out from the rest of the group because people saw potential in us, and I love music, man. I love music even back then. So I just kept practicing, and I created a song called Vanity a long time ago in 2013 because I released my first mixtape of Worldly Ambitions in 2013, and I released, but it wasn't until 2016. It wasn't until I released Worldly Ambitions 2 in 2016.
Okay.
That's the second installment of Worldly Ambitions that I realized that I want to pursue music like professionally, fully as a career. So, been a long road, man. It really has. But ever since I started taking music seriously and pursuing it, man, I've got a lot of love and I've grown a lot. I started making my album about 2 years ago, maybe. I was 19 when I was making it. That's why on the GOTW, Get Out the Way, that song, I was like 19 years old with a lot on my back. Yeah. So I started making the album when I was 19. I'm 21 now. So, it took a while for it to, I guess it didn't take the song. Like, I started making the album after I released. I I had a group of singles that came out before I actually made the album.
Right.
Nothing else, Nothing But Love, Wanna Be Happy, Cameras featuring Young Noah, and Attention. And all those songs, man, those songs are still great, man. Like, I still have people listening to those songs and telling me how much, those songs have blessed them. And
So
I made all of those songs before I started even working on nothing. Before I started working on Misguided, man. And so, really, Misguided, man. It was. I had a selection of 4 titles in my mind that I would go with, and I asked people which one would sound better. And out of the 4 names, they chose 2, and Misguided actually came in second place. But then I listened to the album, all the songs, and Misguided seemed like it fit them better because it kind of fit into all the songs that, all the songs that are on the album. And it kind of like, I wanted to be really transparent in the album, tell people, even though I am a Christian, man, I still have my own struggles, man. And I want to, I like being open and honest with people. And, I was really writing from my heart, man, writing whatever God put on my heart, man.
So who do you have around you that's kind of helping you on this musical journey from, the writing, the recording, any type of marketing strategy? Is there anybody around you who's kind of your team that you have?
No, I actually wrote everything on my album. So the choruses, the verses, I wrote the choruses, recorded myself singing it, and send it off to the artist, that I want to sing on it. And so they have an idea of what I had in my my mind and how I wanted it to sound. And so they heard it, and then they was able to like add flavor to it or whatever they wanted to do,
Right.
Spice it a little bit,
So
And,
do you have all your own recording stuff?
Yeah, I do. I recorded my whole thing out of my dorm room.
Nice. What kind of program did you use? What was your DAW?
I used Studio One.
Okay.
Yeah, Studio One 3.
I ask these questions because I think a lot of people want to release music and they're just not sure if they're ready. They think they have to have a professional setup, and a lot of people, a lot of their favorite artists made albums in their college rooms. Actually, a lot of the Christian hip hop artists started off recording albums in college.
Yeah.
And I mean, NF's one. Like he did his in high school. So a lot of people feel like they have to wait until a certain period of their life when they're quote unquote ready. Minus God telling them when to do it. And so that's cool, man. So you've been kind of completely on your own during this whole journey. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Wow. So have there been times where you kind of felt like you just wanted to quit doing music? And if so, what got you out of that?
Yeah, it was actually like 2015 before I made Worldly Ambitions 2. I was contemplating whether this music was for me or not. And so I was like, God, man, if this is for me, man, help me write again, because I was going through writer's block, man. And he blessed me with the songs that was on Worldly Ambitions 2, man. After then, man, like I ain't never came down, man.
Right.
Like this, what I'm called to do.
Now, as far as beats, like where do you normally kind of get your beats from for the albums or the projects?
For my last project, I used one producer. He went by Elevated, but he changed his name because he started, I guess, sponsoring a bunch of producers. So all of them became known as Before the Party.
Mm.
And so they sell off of BeatStars.
Okay.
Yeah. And I listened to like a couple of them, like found on like YouTube, man. So I was like really like listening, like I listen hard for beats, man. So like I don't just a beat don't easily impress me, man. So I have to like really like it, man.
So you're saying just you have to really be into a beat before you can really use it.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, it's interesting because I've heard different takes on it. Like I know some artists who will not, get on the beat unless they really feel it. And then I've heard other artists who say, you have to be able to rap on anything. So it's interesting the way people kind of, and I'll be honest, you can tell whenever an artist feels a beat. When they're on the beat, you can tell whenever they feel it.
Yeah.
And you can kind of tell if an artist didn't really feel the beat whenever they start rapping on it. There's a different, I don't know, they perform differently. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
And so, I tell people, if you don't feel comfortable on a beat, tell somebody. I mean, I've sent beats to people to try to get a song going, and they didn't like it. And they told me straight up, they said, I can't do this beat. So, but anyway, man, so let's kind of jump into the album, Misguided. I really enjoy the artwork, man. Who did the artwork for that?
My boy Anthony Calixto, he lives in Texas. Yeah, he does all my artwork, man. I ran across him in it had to be like 2015 because he designed the cover for my Worldly Ambitions 2, a mixtape, well, not EP. So yeah, and he designed everything, nothing else, attention, cameras. He designed the covers, Nothing But Love. He designed the covers for all of those.
So how'd you link up with him? You said you found him?
Yeah, I found him online.
Okay.
Yeah, I was searching for a graphic designer online, and I saw his past work, and I was like, yeah, this the dude. He was a good price, so I was like, yeah, let me work with him. So I've been working with him consistently for a long time. So it had to be about 4 years, man.
So we kind of feel like you're the type of person who says if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Because if you work with the one producer for an album, the same graphic designer for your album work, that's how I am too. It's like if I like something, there's no point in changing it. And some people like to, bounce around and use different things and experiment. And so I understand that, man. So Misguided is it's 14 tracks, man. What was it that made you want to go with a full-length album instead of an EP? I mean, because a lot of people are going the EP route, especially to start off, And I know this isn't your start off, but in general, though, what was it that made you want to go like a full-length album?
Well, the last project I released before Misguided was an EP, but it was 9 tracks, man. So I was like, that's kind of long for an EP. So I was like, I want to make my debut album, man. Like, I want, people to really hear me, really understand, like, really get a piece of work from me, man. So, yeah, so I decided to, because at first, man, I was trying to decide if I should go with, like, 17 or 18 tracks. So I was, 14. That'd be perfect, man. And then, I have, like, some tracks. Because, I mean, that album, that's not all I had. I had more tracks than that. So I'll release that over the time.
Right.
Kind of like what Andy Mineo is doing right now with his works in progress.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was gonna say, man, if you did 19 tracks, I know our album reviewer, we're gonna have your album reviewed. It should be out on the website pretty soon, but he did one album that was 19 tracks, and he was like, "Man, that's a lot of music to listen to try to break down." So I'm sure he appreciates the length of the album. And I'll be honest, man, it's been a long time since I've heard a 19, that length of an album that I really enjoyed fully. And it's tough because you don't want it to sound exactly the same all the way through.
Yeah.
And so you got to have enough change up in the style and, flow patterns and all that stuff in order to really pull off a successful full-length album. So I feel like 14, that's kind of solid for a full-length album. So I think that was a great move. Now, can you talk about some of the people that you kind of linked up? Because you got some songs where you're by yourself and you have some features. Have these features, you said a lot of these songs are like 2 years old?
Well, not 2 years old, but they're like a year or a year and a half old. But me and Devin, Devin lives in Charlotte too. So me and Devin work a lot. We're actually working on a collaboration mixtape right now. So we was able to, he came to my studio to make Appetite. And we stayed up literally all night. So we started working on it at 6 p.m. and we didn't stop recording Appetite till 10 a.m. the next day.
Wow.
Yeah. So I went to the mall to eat out with a friend, and I came back and he was still working on it. It was like 1 p.m. Y'all, so I was like, yo, matter of fact, because he knows how to record and all of that stuff. So I was like, man, I'm gonna take a nap. I'm gonna take a nap right now. You just record yourself. And so yeah, he did that. And we didn't get that song done in one day, but it came out good, man. Like, cause my original verse for Appetite was completely different. And I was like, I heard his verse and I was like, oh man, yo. I was like, yo, I can't let this dude show me up on my own song, man. So I was like, let me go ahead and write the whole thing over, man.
I've heard that happens.
Yeah, I wrote the chorus for it, but he put his own tweaking on it. So, he kind of co-hosted the chorus or whatever. And, yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that even with the more well-known artists, that if they get a fire feature from somebody, they'll go back and rewrite their verse.
Yeah.
And I can imagine. I know like Dream Junkies did that a lot. They did collab, and they're like, nah, you can do a little bit better than that. And so that's cool, man. So I saw you have Jay Millennium up here.
Yeah.
Now I know he's been a part of Nectar before. So what's your connection with him?
Yeah, I met. Well, I didn't. Well, I did meet Jay Millennium officially, but I found out about him when he was living in Virginia still. Before he moved to Gastonia, but once he moved to Gastonia, like I told him when he was in Virginia, when he moved to Gastonia, we was gonna work together, man. We was gonna talk a lot, man. And so Jay Millennium is my boy, man. Like, we've grown close, man.
Gotcha. Are there any other North Carolina artists that you've connected with?
Yeah, Jay Millennium, Devin Morrill, Jason Jett. He's actually a Charlotte artist. Who else?
I'm taking all these names down because I like to connect with all the North Carolina artists I find.
Eli Ahmad, who's on Elevators. He's from North Carolina.
Cool. I got a whole group of people I need to link you up with then.
Yeah.
So that's dope, man. So, question: who are some people that you would like to work with, whether it be producers, artists? Who's kind of on your bucket list for your music career?
Gavi is definitely a
Gavi
to work with. Dirty Rice, definitely I want to work with. For artists, Lecrae, of course, Andy Mineo, um, Derek Minor, um, Xavier Omar. I really want to work with him.
Gotcha.
Christine Gray. Because, man, Christine Gray got a beautiful voice, man. And,
Yeah, he can rap too. See, he's got both of them.
he can rap. KB. All the Reach Records artists, man.
I feel you.
1K Few, man. He be making some trap songs, man. Like
You can probably get a verse of 1K.
Yeah.
1K is pretty open to do. Well, at least I could tell he does a lot more features than any of the other artists. I'll say that.
Yeah.
So that might be an easy slide-in possibility. So, who would you say are some of the? Are there any secular artists that you'd love to get on a track if you had the opportunity? I mean, some people don't want to work with secular artists, and some people just want to stick to the Christian realm, and other people, wouldn't mind doing it. What's kind of your position on it?
I mean, if it happens, man, I'm not opposed to it, but I mean, it ain't nothing that I really look forward to. Like, I don't look forward to working with any artist, but if I ever get to a point where I'm like, yeah, I want to work with this dude, because I mean, I will work with J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar.
I felt like J. Cole was coming. I don't know why I felt like you were about to say J. Cole.
Yeah, man, J. Cole is dope, man.
Yeah. I know, like I said, there's some artists who just don't want to, people have different philosophies when it comes to music. And so people, some people are very picky about who do music with, and they have to have the same exact, kind of message. And some people are kind of more open to working with secular artists. Even in the hypothetical situations, not the die-hard legit situations. So that's what I was kind of curious about. It kind of helps us understand your philosophy when it comes to music and things like that. And because some people are an absolute no-go at all. So with this album, what was just talk about what misguided means. Like, what's kind of your idea behind the name of the album?
Misguided is just a person that's misled, who has a bad example leading them. So basically, they're going down the wrong path in life, and so they need somebody to like put them on the right path, to guide them in the right way.
Right. So, is this something like, would you say you felt like you were talking about a future you, or is this just
No, that was just the name that I gave it, because I mean it went perfectly with the songs, man. Like, as a collection, as a body, a whole body, and went along with it well.
If I said future you, I meant past you. That's so, that happened. At least I caught it that time.
A little bit, man.
Okay. That's what I meant. So my bad, man. I
feel like I made a lot of like mistakes, bad decisions in my past, man. Stuff that I can't say nobody ain't tell me, because they told me, but I wasn't willing to listen then, and I wish I would have.
Gotcha.
Listen.
Well, if you don't mind me asking, man, if you want to share, how old are you now?
I'm 21.
21. I think that's important to the conversation as well, because some people jump into the game at like older, and some people jump in younger, and I feel like you have the ability to have a long career where people can follow your music. And have you thought about starting any type of kind of group of artists to kind of collab with each other or like a collective, anything like that? Because I know right now, collectives are becoming kind of a bigger thing. It kind of started with the Indie Tribe, and even with the newer indie artists like 520, things like that. So have you thought about joining any type of community like that?
Me and Devin Morrill, we make a lot of music together. But I haven't ever really thought about making a group or anything. Cause I mean, like groups fall apart. So I ain't want to like get in a group. People get used to hearing me in a group, and then we all have our differences on it, and we fall apart, man. So.
Gotcha. Well, another thing I'm thinking about is just like a group of creatives that just work, not for like an album or like a group album, whatever. I just mean like you have a couple of artists that you send stuff to check out. They'll check it out, give you honest feedback, kind of help each other out with stuff, anything like that.
I mean, I have Devin Morrill,
So that's your go-to guy?
Yeah, and for making Misguided, my go-to was also a dude named David Delgado. He go by David E. And he's Young C's manager. And so he was able to like listen, give me feedback on each song, man. So that was a blessing to having him. And also let Jay Millennium hear a couple songs too.
Gotcha. That's cool, man. I know it's important for artists to have a network of people who, one, will be completely 100% honest with them. I think a lot of this is kind of one of the downfalls for a lot of indie artists getting started is they send music to their family who want to support them, so they're just like, yeah, this is great, and it might not be as great as they're saying. And so I always encourage people to make sure you have at least a couple of different honest people that you can send your music to before it hits the other the platforms where you're trying to get your music on. That way their first taste of your music isn't bad. But it's good that you had that, man, because it always helps kind of readjust. So along the album process, you're going through, you're making these songs. When you got kind of to the end of creating the album, was there anything that you wanted to tweak, change, anything you threw out or added to?
I had a song called Rich Click that I threw out of the album, but I'm gonna release it later this year though.
Did it just not fit the theme of the album?
Yeah, it didn't. It was like it was a hype song, man, and I mean it was just me, which a lot of my songs on the album didn't have just me on it. It had features, but now it's gonna have. I love working with people, man. Like, I love like collaborating with artists. Definitely rappers, man. Like, just being able to like get everybody's different, taste on the record together. Yeah.
Right.
But I didn't really have any like. The album when I was making it, man, like the tracks were like super solid, man. Like I was like, yeah, this going on the album, man. So like NF, when he makes albums, he doesn't have like a lot of tracks that don't make it on the album. So that's
gotcha.
And I'm actually working on my next album now.
So any ideas of what your next album is going to be about?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be like Misguided, but it's gonna be better, man.
Gotcha. So is it Misguided Part 2, or is it going to be something completely different?
It's gonna be called something different.
Okay. Because I know that's another thing that's common now too is Part 2, Part 3. That's becoming a very more commonly seen thing amongst these artists, or side A, side B, things like that. So yeah, man, looking forward to hearing that whenever it gets ready to come out. So you're working on it now. Any idea when that might be? Do you have a projected date to be done with it?
I know it's gonna be in 2021.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, that's good, man, because I think, you don't want to rush anything. And so
Yeah.
if you got some singles to drop here and there just to keep something fresh, that always works out pretty good. At least, to keep people paying attention,
Yeah.
So, just a couple of other types of questions. Like I said, want people to get to know you a little bit more. And I've done this periodically, haven't done it a whole lot, but just like a couple of rapid fire questions that I want to shoot at you off the top of your head. So, just catch you off guard. So, who would you say is your favorite Christian artist right now?
Lecrae.
Lecrae. Who is your favorite secular hip hop artist right now?
Drake.
Drake? Okay.
Yeah.
Would you prefer football or basketball? NBA, NFL?
Basketball. NBA, definitely.
What team?
Lakers.
Lakers. All the way on the West Coast, you on the East Coast?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I got you.
That's always been my favorite team since I was, like, very young, man. Back when Kobe Bryant was playing, man. And, I mean, even though he's gone, man, I'm still loyal to that team. But, I like Golden State Warriors a lot, too.
Now, do you like Golden State or do you like Curry?
I like Golden State as a whole.
Okay.
But Curry makes it better, though.
A lot of people love Curry, so they just kind of adopt the rest of the Golden State Warriors with Curry. So
Trey, all of them great.
Gotcha. So have you been to any type of? I'm gonna kind of break this pattern. Have you been to any conferences or anything like that? The network.
You talking about as far as like
Flavor Fest, Legacy, anything like that?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, man. That's I feel like you can make a lot of great connections that way, and a lot of artists, especially like Flavor Fest, and this is one of the more common ones that people talk about. And so it was a song that just came out from Domingo Guyton called "God's Work." That he twisted Devil's Work, and apparently Joyner Lucas was there, and so that's interesting to know. So that's just something that I would kind of recommend or whatever to try to check out some of those things, because you can meet a lot of people and network, things like that. But have you? Where are the type of places you do shows at?
Pretty much wherever I get booked at. I've done it in churches, man. I've done it in gyms. I've done it in front of like small crowds, large crowds, man. So
Gotcha.
I've done some concerts with like 30 to 50 people, and I did a concert with like 5,000 people too. So wherever I get booked, pretty much I've opened up for Trip Lee, Brianna Babineau, Jermaine Dolly, William McDowell, Seven, Aaron Cole.
So do you make all these things happen? Like, are you the one that's reaching out, and how does that happen for you?
No, people they really book me, man.
That's cool, man. I know a lot of artists they have to submit, they have to reach out and send music off and this, that, and the other to try to get booked. And so I didn't know how it was happening for you. And so they're hitting you up and asking you, hey, man, we want you to open up for us.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And then they'll be like, we're willing. Well, they don't never tell me what they're willing to pay, but I send them a pre-event questionnaire, and
Right.
they have, am I going to be compensated? That's one of their questions on it. And so that's how I get them to tell me how much they're willing to pay me to come perform. So yeah.
Well, that's cool. I think sometimes it's kind of building that habit of letting people know, hey, I am worth something. What do you think I'm worth? And so that's kind of a good way to do it. Because I'm not saying people should always ask for money to perform. Because sometimes you have in a situation where it's worth going out and performing in front of certain crowds of people, just to kind of get your face and your music in their ear. So, but yeah, man, that's pretty cool, man. So, did you just do the more recent 7 show that happened last year?
Yeah.
Man, I was going to try to go to that show, and so I definitely would have seen you there, man. But I wasn't able to. I was working, so unfortunately. Have you been able to meet some of these artists?
You talking about? I met 7. Like, I actually got a picture with 7.
Okay. So I've heard he's a very legit, like, down to earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I didn't get to meet like Trip Lee or none of them, those artists, because that was a bigger concert, man. So I didn't. They had their own like dressing room backstage and all that stuff. But I mean, I met Aaron Cole. I got a picture with him before he signed to I think Goatee Records.
Yeah, Goatee.
Yeah, it was like a couple months before he signed.
Gotcha. Well, that's awesome, man. It's definitely good to hear connections being made and all these things, and the fact that you're doing all different kinds of shows, and just getting your stuff out there, working on new music. And so now I do have to ask you this before we go. What were your thoughts on the Line for Line showdown that happened that you were a part of? What were your thoughts whenever they played both of the songs before you kind of got the comments? Were you thinking, what was your confidence level at?
Well, I mean, my confidence was like, hey, I gave them my best song, the song I felt like anybody could go against, and I felt like I would win.
Gotcha.
So I actually, because I got the notification that Trackstarz had went live while I was at my dad's house, and so I clicked in, and the minute I clicked in, y'all was playing the song. So that was a great, and I saw a bunch of people commenting Calvin. I was like, oh yeah. I was like, yo.
Yeah, and I guess I think it was Logic they put you against, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty impressive because Logic, he's a legit artist. He doesn't lose a lot.
Yeah, he is dope.
And he beat NF, and like album for album. So that's pretty big, man. So did that kind of give you an extra boost of, yeah, I'm on the right path, I'm doing the right thing? Yeah. How was the feedback that you got?
The feedback was good, man. Like, it feels good that when I made the album, when I was listening to the album, when I made it, was making it, I was like, yo, this album sounds like really good, man. And now to listen to everybody else say how good it sounds, like,
right,
everything, making sure like that I'm not the only one thinking that, because some people will think, oh yeah, man, my album is great, and other people will be like, it's alright, man, and but I hear people like literally like every day, man, they just telling me how the album actually came out like 4 or 5 months ago.
Mm.
Yeah, because it came out in January. And so to hear people still talking about it in June, man, that's a blessing, man.
That's awesome, man.
Like, the right people are coming across it, man.
That's good to hear, man. I'm glad that some folks were able to kind of pick it up and check you out. As a part of the Line for Line process, that was the point of the showdown, is to give any artist a chance to get their music heard, and to be able to kind of put their best foot forward and give them get the best of you. And so I'm super excited it worked out, and to go up against an artist like Logic, win like that is incredible. So definitely looking forward to the next project. I think this project is strong enough to be able to kind of ride it with for a little bit. So don't feel rushed, and also I am curious to hear the single that didn't make the album too, just because it didn't make the album and you're going to release it. So Definitely looking forward to that, man. Any last things before we wrap this up that you kind of want to tell people about, or anything you just want a last minute message?
Just be on the lookout, man, for new music, man. You can follow me on Instagram, Calvin Hill Music. You can follow me on Twitter. I am Calvin Hill. You can follow me on Facebook as Calvin Hill Music. For all the people that's watching that actually booking gigs, man, you can email me at calvinhillmusic@gmail.com.
Website?
I have a website, but I don't know the name of it. It's a Wix site. So
Okay. That's all good, man. Well, Calvin, I appreciate your time, man. Appreciate you kind of sharing your journey with us, your music with us, your heart with us. And it's always good to get to know the person a little bit better. That's not just on the music. And so it's good to meet you, man. Or at least via Independent Artist Spotlight. And definitely looking forward to the music coming up. And I'm excited for you, man.
Appreciate it, man.
All right, man. So until next time, like I said, on behalf of Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah from the Trackstarz podcast and radio show, I hope y'all have a great day.
Hey guys, Miracle here. Thank you so much for watching that episode. Make sure you go below, like it, subscribe, click the bell, and make sure you follow us on all forms of our social media. Also, check out our website and be sure you spread the word. We'll see you next time.
We know not what we doing. Screw that, they know, let them have it, do it. Okay, I'm erratic, prove it. Never mind, got a mind that'll wind up with me in a lineup behind bars with these bars. Okay, my time's up.
Team Freedom.
Yeah.
We not through yet.
All right.
Trackstarz Music presents.
Turn my volume up, turn me off.